Alright, so we're back now. We've got this mechanism off here, but the first video, we let it set a few minutes because it took me a few minutes to get that off. Me and Levi's working together. I'm kind of showing the way, so he'll learn how to do this kind of stuff. So it may wind up being 2 videos. I don't know. Y'all just have to watch and see if we put up like segment 1, segment 2. Who knows? Maybe segment 3. Don't know. We'll just have to go from there. But anyway, back to what we're doing. So we got this off. Now we have to remove the governor arm here. Back up so they can see. Remove the governor arm. On the inside, there's a rod that goes down. There's a gear in there. We're going to remove that gear, this arm. We're going to pull the crankcase cover off. These here are 10 millimeter to pull the crank cover case off. When you get on the inside of the engine, you're starting to pull this off. You're going to pull these bolts out. You're just going to slightly bump it until it comes loose. You don't want to pull your cam or nothing out, because then you have to realign your cam, push your lifters back up in there and all that. And so just be careful when you're pulling the crankcase cover off. While we're on the inside, we're going to remove the oil sensor. There's an oil sensor that sits at the bottom of the thing. We're going to remove it. It also comes out to the front of the block here. We'll unplug all this and remove this also. Where there's a hole here, we can either stop that up with a bolt, or we can JB weld it, anything that we want to do with it. Not real sure how we're going to do that just yet, but I'm sure once we get it done, we will show you. And like I said, this video could turn into 1, 2, or 3 segments. I don't know, because it may take me a few minutes to do this also. But either way, all the videos will be up, and you can see them. So now I'm going to get Levi back over here, and we're going to get started pulling this governor out. So we'll be back here in a little bit. Alright, so we're back. We had a little trouble getting this governor out, because I guess I'd never taken one out of a motor like this. So it took a few minutes, but I just want to show you what we've done. We took this here is the oil sensor. If the engine gets low of oil, it cuts the engine off. So we wanted to make sure we pulled that out. We pulled that out. The wires actually come through here. I don't know if you can see or not, and it come through on this side, and then it plugged up here where you kill switch and stuff. This was mounted to that. So we got that out of the way, and then we had to plug this hole up with a 1/2 inch bolt. I put a large washer on this side with Permatex and a lock nut. Now to remove the governor gear, I had it sitting right here. Let's see, right here. To remove this, it's got a little bitty C-clip that sits down on the inside on that rod right there that holds this on. The first thing we had to remove, other than that, was the arm that comes through the block. And here it is. This arm comes through the block like so, come out right here. I just took a little die grinder and cut the top of it off about a 1/4 inch or so, enough to get it to be able to fall through the block. And then I plugged that up with a 1/4 inch bolt. I just threaded it down in there. I'm assuming that's what you're supposed to do there. Not 100% sure, but we're gonna go with that. In the process of removing the oil sensor, I did have to pull the cam out a little to get it out. But I just lined my marks up just like they was from the factory, and pulled the cam out a little bit, pulled that 8 millimeter bolt, is what holds them on. Pulled that out, and then slid the cam right back in. And that's the only thing that I've taken apart so far. So we're getting ready now to put the side plate back on, and we're going to torque these side plate bolts up here on my board If somebody didn't move it, I don't know where it's at. I've got a board somewhere that's got
Are they
my
right there beside the refrigerators?
torch specs. Alright, Levi's gonna go get it. And we're gonna torque the side plate
Right
back
there,
down.
Levi.
Yeah.
Here is his board with all our stuff on it.
And here's all of our torch specs. We're gonna look for the side cover. And that's gonna be 210 inch-pounds is what we're gonna torque those down to. And we're gonna get that back, put back on there, and then the next thing we're gonna do is mount the top plate, which we showed you at the beginning of the video. It allows us to run the throttle to the carburetor. The fuel will come in here, and then you have your fuel out to the carburetor, and then this runs off the vacuum off the valve cover. And I'll show you all that when we come back.